Oh, it says.
Now
All right. Well, we got everybody on at the same
Oh,
time.
there we are.
Yeah, I think so.
Hello, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So why don't we kick it off? We've all seen most of the Marvel movies, and let's start like before Endgame because I feel like Endgame was the straw that broke the camel's back as far as quality is concerned. Yeah, like what did you guys think of the first phase, the original Iron Man, Captain America, the Incredible Hulk, which he only got his one movie in as with Edward Norton. But yeah, why don't we kick it off? And anybody that wants to just jump on and start chatting.
Sure. So I may be in the minority here, but I actually don't think. I feel like everyone has been a little bit dramatic about Phase 4. I think that there are a lot of similar elements that I see from Phase 1. And in particular, what I liked about Phase 1 was that they had these standalone pieces, but there was like teases to the larger plot, but it didn't feel like that. And I think we got so wrapped up in the larger plot that when now we have these pieces that aren't giving us necessarily like that larger piece, I think it's irritated a lot of people and it's confused a lot of people the different directions that they're gonna go. And I also think there hasn't been a lot of transparency from Marvel as far as like where we're heading, and I kind of like that. I mean, that might put me in the minority here, but I kind of like that. I kind of like that we don't know where we're going. There is a point where you do get frustrated. You're like, okay, where are we going with this? But that's sort of how I feel. So.
Nice, Mike. What about you?
Yeah. So just to clarify, Paul, am I just comment on the Phase 1 part at the moment, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mate.
Right.
Look, it's
Cool.
all open.
Cool.
Let's have a discussion.
No worries, man. The reason I ask is because I can go on about this all day. So we've got other guests on. I'll try not
That's
to.
why you're on.
He's Captain America. He could do this all day.
Right, but it's getting late here, so I can't. Anyway, yeah. In terms of Phase 1, man, so I'll openly say it. I've never seen any of the Iron Man movies.
Wow.
I personally am not a fan of Iron Man at all.
Interesting.
Wow, okay.
Except from Infinity War Endgame and when he kind of helps Tom Holland's Peter Parker. I like that part of Iron Man, but that's as far as it goes.
Interesting. I like that.
But yeah, my favorite ever Marvel movie, which may be a very hot take, is Captain America: The First Avenger. That's my #1 Marvel movie ever. So yeah, I like that. It was just like simple. They started off, just introducing a couple of heroes. And slowly after they got their solo movies, they then brought them in and kind of like merged them into like the Avengers, where we all saw them get together. And projects after that slowly started. It wasn't too long before you saw Captain America again, or Iron Man, or Thor. And I'll get into my thoughts later on about the other phases personally. But yeah, that first phase I think was just a solid, strong start for Marvel.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, I had a very good experience watching the first Captain America movie. I just started my first job out of grad school, and a whole bunch of the people that I was working with, we had like maybe 15, 20 people, and we went to go see it in like the biggest theater we could find in Times Square. So when we walked out after. Yeah. We walked out into the scene at the very end of the movie, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That's right. That's cool.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Norrin, what do you think about Phase 1?
So for me, I was definitely on board from the beginning. And in terms of one of the people, like in terms of a fan now, how I would describe myself is one of those people who has superhero fatigue as it's gone on. And I've been somebody who started from the comics and the anime era and stuff like that, and the animated films. And when they started going with, Marvel and DC and really diving into doing a movie like every year or 2 a year and then 3 a year, it just kind of like eventually did become daunting. But in terms of when it first began, Phase 1, I was all on board. Like in Iron Man, it's sad to say, damn, Mike, I'm sad to hear that. My Iron Man's one of my favorites. He's like probably my favorite in terms of the Marvel universe, because Iron Man and Batman, they kind of mirror each other. And when it comes to DC, I'm a Batman fan, and when it comes to Marvel, I'm an Iron Man fan. So those are like the two that are kind of like they very much mirror each other. So those are the ones that I gravitate towards the most. And by the time we got to Avengers, it was the first time I went to a theaters, and I took my wife, my mom went, and my dad
Ooh.
went. So it was like a double
Aw.
date.
It's
My
awesome.
mom, my dad, me, and my wife. So it was
Yeah.
very fun to go see that first Avengers film all together. You know what I mean? So it's a memory that sticks with me. Very heavy nostalgia.
Now I'm gonna throw out a very controversial question since you mentioned Batman. Who is your favorite Batman actor?
My favorite Batman actor, I know me and my wife argue about this all the time because she's a heavy Batman fan, and hers is Ben Affleck, and mine's Christian Bale.
Okay.
So we argue
Yeah.
about that a lot.
Solid
Yes.
choices.
Recency bias.
Someone's favorite.
I like Robert Pattinson.
Oh,
Like Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson did such a good job, and the Batman completely was, I think, what a lot of people wanted in terms of a Batman film. But for me, like Christian Bale and
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, and then Mike knows this. I fancy Dark Knight Rises. That's my favorite Batman film, and that's a hot take for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Ton of hot takes today.
no, but I think Bane was really awesome in the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah, he like got bulked up. I couldn't even recognize him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I had no idea that was him, but he was, yeah, like he's got some particularly funny lines too.
Yeah.
Especially
And then I think Anne Hathaway is kind of like a lot of people think about the other Catwomen, but when you look at Anne Hathaway, I think she very much delivered on the role, and she was very fantastic.
yeah, absolutely. Now,
Yeah.
movie-wise, what do you think about Phase 1 of Marvel?
Phase 1. Is that the one that ended with that Endgame, or the one with that
No,
ended
the very
with,
first one. Where
it ended with the Avengers, right?
yeah.
Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and then the Avengers.
Have you got the list there, or was that off the top of your head?
No, a little streaming tip. You always are cheating a little bit.
Always cheat a little bit. I like Phase 1 because that's the one that kind of creeped up on us. We didn't know how big this thing was gonna be, how it was gonna take over the movie world, so movies were still coming one at a time. I remember not finding a difference of events, if you can call it like that, between watching Iron Man or The Incredible Hulk or Spider-Man that came before Spider-Man 2. I thought it was just gonna be another summer blockbuster. Then
Yeah.
little did we know that now our lives revolve around these films. I like Phase 1, and my favorite is Thor. Not many people agree, but
I like Thor.
I might be
I
a
love
big
Thor.
fanboy
I love
of
Thor too. Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, they
Thor is amazing.
Yeah,
It's
so
the only, and it's the only time when Thor has a character arc. Every time he's back to being a dumb little boy who
yeah,
doesn't learn.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That killed me in the What If series.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I need to watch those What If series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they
What
let Kenneth Branagh like have free reign over the Thor movie, the original one, and so like it was the first time where it was like, oh, it wasn't like an action movie like Iron Man, and it wasn't like an intrigue movie like Incredible Hulk. It wasn't a historical thing like Captain America. It was like basically a fantasy film, and I think he
Yeah.
did a fantastic
Yeah, and
job.
with very big stakes and family life and court intrigue, very Shakespearean, as you would
Yeah.
expect of him.
Hey, I have a-
I wish he had come back for more. Maybe he'd have made something better than The Dark World, or he'd have made a thought in his career, a stain in his career.
Wow.
Well, Phase 1, well, I'm not sure if it was the best. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy was excellent, so was Endgame, but as far as standalone films are concerned, Phase 1 was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question. Because I was 14 when those original movies came out. Did they like always know that they wanted to go this route of like having the Avengers together, or was it
Yes.
just like,
Yeah.
okay,
I think so, yes. I remember specifically talking about that with my brother, which I was going to mention.
Yeah,
Wasn't
when
there
my
was
turn
Nick
comes.
Fury in a mid-credit scene in Iron
Yeah.
Man, and
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. and I think Downey Jr. appears in the mid-credit scene of The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because he's trying to put the team together or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, actually, speaking of Incredible Hulk, what do you guys think of Edward Norton versus Mark Ruffalo?
Norton is much better.
I love Norton.
I
Yeah.
agree. I liked the Incredible Hulk movie quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely gets way too much heat for like what it was. Like I thought they did a really great job. It's just they're very different approaches, which is I think Ruffalo sort of fits this like need that they had, but like I grew up on like Hulk smash, so like it was sort of
Mm.
very different.
Yeah. We've got a couple questions already. We got, let's see, show. We got Larry. Hey, Larry. Marvel has movies now?
Just a few, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got a follow-up question, a real one. What's everybody's pre-Endgame movie?
That's what we're talking.
What does that mean?
Pre-Endgame,
Oh,
like their favorite,
Your
favorite
yeah, your
MCU
favorite
pre-Endgame.
pre-Endgame movie.
Probably Captain America: Civil War for me. Civil War goes really hard.
Okay, mine would be The Winter Soldier. That's my favorite MCU film.
That's great too.
Mm.
That's such a good like kind of
Love that
spy
movie.
espionage film. So great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain America: First Avenger, as I said before.
Of
is my
course.
favorite.
Yeah,
Favorite
mine's
ever
like
Marvel
First
movie.
Avenger all day.
All day, yeah.
And as I mentioned, Thor.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thor,
Ryan.
nice.
What's yours?
Winter Soldier by far.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, nice. That was a good one. And
Sweet.
and Sin?
Like I mentioned, Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because-
so we have two Winter Soldiers now.
So I think part of it is because for me it felt like such an improvement over the first Avenger, the first Captain America, which I was disappointed in. I mean, it had me. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry. It had me up until like midway through, and then it just kind of started to feel just a bit too clowny for me, and I just couldn't. I did, and so when Winter Soldier came along, and now I knew nothing about Bucky. I knew nothing about the Winter Soldier, and they were playing the trailer. And my brother went and spoiled it for me. You know who the Winter Soldier is? No, I thought he was talking. I thought he was talking about the actor, like who? And I said no, and he said it's Bucky. It's his friend Bucky. I was like, why'd you tell me that? I didn't know that. He says everybody knows that. No, I didn't know that.
I didn't
'cause
either,
I
yeah.
didn't read those books.
Yeah.
But I still love the movie. It was just so good. I love that dynamic between them and just that final conflict that they had. Oh,
Yeah, that was
rough.
definitely a tearjerker.
yeah.
My pick would be Black Panther. I just it really just was like a cultural shift and like. But what I really love about movies is when they really pay attention to set design and costume and give you that sort of world building. And I was talking about this with someone the other day. Like, it's going to be a very interesting trilogy where you have this trilogy about a superhero that has 3 different versions of the main superhero. Because I imagine that, it's the first one we get this T'Challa version, then we get Shuri, and then the third is probably going to be T'Challa Jr. maybe. I don't know. And then also, like, I think the character was originally designed to, like, pass down like Spider-Man does and Batman does, but like not really. But now that it's become such a cultural thing, like I think sort of changes the dynamic of it. So I thought Black Panther was just sort of a refreshing take in the series for me.
Yeah, and he was really good. I mean,
Yeah.
the world lost like a major star.
Yeah.
That cancer sucks. So
Yeah.
it's really sad. We got Jamie, who's actually up straight from Australia. Hey, hello, Jamie.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy.
Hello.
So here's a question for everybody. So, what do you think out of all any superhero movie film that you've ever seen? What do you think is the best experience that you've had out of any movie?
That one's easy for me. Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
I loved that movie so much. It gives me so many warm fuzzies when I think about the first time I saw it. I wish I could go back and rewatch it because I loved her. She was my hero when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I was really afraid they were going to screw it up and make it this big, anti-male sort of messaging that was going to be just heavy-handed. And it wasn't. And I was so, so happy. And I thought she was phenomenal. And she just blew me away because I was really down on her when they cast her. I was like, no, terrible. And she just changed my mind completely. When she showed up in Batman versus Superman and she dropped down and put her bracelets up to fend off Doomsday, I was just like a child inside. I was screaming so hard. It's like, okay, she convinced me, and the movie convinced me even more.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Rodrigo, what do you think? What do you think about Ryan's question? Any thoughts on which overall movie, comic book related, you like?
The best superhero film for me is gonna be Watchmen.
Ooh,
That's a great one.
good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
I had
fantastic.
never heard about this story before I watched it. I never read a graphic novel still, so I thought it was super ambitious, sprawling
Yeah.
story, unlike anything I've ever seen with superheroes. It's almost not ridiculous seeing them in spandex clothing.
Right. I mean, it had a lot of political overtones, which were, it's very like nuanced. You had like a lot of character development.
Yeah.
Everybody had their own story arcs, and
Yeah, a lot of subplots,
Exactly.
characters
Oh yeah.
contradicting each other and themselves the whole time. It was excellent.
Did you get any of you read the graphic novel?
Yeah, it was that was the first graphic novel I ever read as a kid. I remember back when you had to like order on demand and stuff like that. I snuck and paid for it when I was a kid, and that was got in some trouble for that because it was, I think it's R-rated, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
yeah. So
Norrin, what do you think is your favorite superhero movie?
Oh, for me? Oh man, that's tough. Like I'd have to. It's tough because when you think about it as a whole, there's so many. Even outside of Marvel and DC, there's like a lot. You know what I mean? Like even outside of that universe.
Yeah.
But because I'm such a Batman sucker, and like Dark Knight Rises is the only Batman film that I've seen multiple times in theaters. I went to go see it 3 times. So it is probably
Yeah,
Dark
me
Knight
too.
Rises, yeah, because I took my wife, I took my my brother-in-law and my friends, and then I went with my mom too. I was like, "My mom, you got to see this." It was all, "We have to go. I'll go a 3rd time with you. I don't care."
We got a comment from Sean. Sad the first Iron Man was really
Yeah.
good. I think that's
It's
related
directed
to
at Mike.
yeah.
Mike, you should watch the first Iron Man at least.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's
It-
very
I
good.
will.
Very good.
I was like you, Mike. I was really like, I don't get what everyone is hyped about Iron Man, but like I went back and watched, and I agree. Like there's definitely some dated stuff in there, but like not as much as you would think. And it was
MySpace.
pretty funny. It was pretty funny overall
Yeah.
too. And I believe, yeah. There's a cameo from someone in that's kind of funny too. I think the second one.
Yeah, it was really good. Thumbs up.
I've heard. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say it's a bad movie. It's just, it's
Yeah.
not really a fan. But I might have to go back and watch the first one for the first time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely want to watch them all again. So
Yeah, I think even the 3rd one, it gets kind of a bad rap. Like I know it's like it's got like kind of a stupid story going on, but the performances in the 3rd film are actually kind of solid. From like even Gwyneth Paltrow to Sir Ben Kingsley, they deliver on their roles. People just didn't like what they got on screen.
I have to say, I love the Ben Kingsley twist in that movie.
So did I. I did as well. It was
Yeah.
fun.
I think for me, to answer the question about the experience, I think going back to Black Panther, like I saw it and like I love going to the theater. You see young kids there, and then like there's also older. And I went to like that like opening midnight show or whatever, and like just seeing these kids being like yeah and like freaking out. Like I love that sort of experience. But I would say for me, I saw Spider-Verse super early. I just literally got lucky. Like, those sometimes you can sign up on sites and they give you early things. So I saw it like literally, no exaggeration, like 3 weeks early. And I left it. I was like, oh my God, like what was that? Like, because it's just like animation. I just moved it so much. And I can't wait for the second one to come out. I don't know how you all feel. How did you all feel about the Spider-Verse movie?
It was very good.
yeah, I really enjoy it.
Yeah. It was very I mean, the animation style was completely just brand new, never before had been done.
Anyone not like it?
I didn't not like it, but I wasn't as in love with it as a lot of people are. And I don't know how much of that is just like I like animation, but I'm not in love with animated
Gotcha.
things. But something that just bugged the absolute heck out of me. I did not like how Kingpin was drawn. That really bugged me. He just did not look anatomically right, and he had this little tiny head and this big, huge block of a body, and I was just like, that just bothered me so much.
That's really funny you say that, because I find sometimes when I'm watching animation, I'll just be like, it's just like the littlest thing will bother you. Like, why is their elbow like that? Or like, like.
And it just sticks in your craw, and it just won't leave,
Yeah.
and then that's all you think about when you see it.
Yeah. And sometimes too in animation, they'll just be like, and you're like, it takes you out of it for a second because they have like these really expressive moments sometimes. But no, I loved it.
Tyrone, when you said that you saw Black Panther at midnight, it actually kind of reminded me, because I also saw it at midnight. Because I was going on this like 2-week long trip, actually to Africa. Literally like the next day, I had my flight. I was flying to Tanzania, and like I was like, "Ooh, Wakanda, Tanzania."
Yeah, right. You must have just been like, in another world. Like, someone take me to the ancestral plane.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Wait, how do I enter Wakanda?
Right.
No, but I highly, highly, highly recommend everybody visit Tanzania. It's like out of this world. Like, I stepped off the plane, and just like the smell, it smelled like Earth. Cradle of civilization. I went to see the valley where apparently humanity started. I'm like, yeah, it looks like a pretty dope place to start society.
I'd imagine a bit different than New York and Boston.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, like I was just taken aback. I picked up like a handful of dirt, and it was just like I went like this, and my hand was clean. I'm like, yeah, you could grow anything here. So it was a really good experience. We got Larry again. Adam West.
Adam
Sorry,
West.
Christian.
A lot of people do fancy Adam West. I know it's like if you grew up on Adam West, that's going to be your Batman forever, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have a huge crush on him when I was a kid, but then I got older, and I'm like, yeah, no, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale is just too good.
He's
Right.
Hey, how do you guys feel about? I love X-Men, I love the X-Men animated series, and like X-Men was sort of like I honestly didn't even really know about the Avengers. I was more like a Justice League DC guy, but I liked X-Men. How do you all feel about X-Men like entering the MCU? Like, are you like hesitant about it? Do you think that it needs to be its own thing, or like, I don't know? Does anyone have any thoughts?
I'm concerned about how they're going to treat it.
Yeah. Because I mean, the original X-Men story, it came out in I think 62 or 63 at like the height of the civil rights movement. And I felt it's an excellent reflection of what's going on in society. Like, it really captures the cultural zeitgeist. It showed racism, but I guess speciesism. It's obviously
Sort of allegory.
Yeah, and like each mutant had his own personality. The X-Men are my absolute favorite superhero team, and not just like Wolverine. Like, I'm a big fan of Cyclops. Like, I
Nightcrawler.
Storm. I love Storm.
Storm is underrated.
Awesome, yeah.
And I wanted Angela Bassett to be. Angela Bassett is Storm to me. She should have been cast. I wish she had been cast.
Oh yeah.
I was disappointed that Halle Berry was cast.
Yeah, I mean, with in the comics, T'Challa marries Storm.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, and so like I think that's where they were kind of going with Black Panther 2, but sadly he passed away.
Right.
That would have been like a really good segue to start, bringing in the X-Men.
Yeah, I had a huge theory that like Doom would have sort of came into the second movie somehow and antagonized, and then because then you get like you get this introduction of Doom, but you also get the X-Men, and like I still think we may get that with this T'Challa Jr. I feel like that might be the reset, but I'm just very nervous about X-Men because it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, even just like casting Wolverine, like Hugh Jackman is just, it's like you guys are talking about Christian Bale, like, boy, how do you replace that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. Steve, again, Bane was incredible. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Definitely can't go wrong with him.
Yeah, Tom Hardy's performance was fantastic.
He worked so hard to get ready for that, and people were kind of down on him because I guess they didn't feel like he was big enough, and he got his little feelings hurt. I felt sorry for him because he put a lot into it. I thought he was phenomenal.
Not big enough.
Yeah, I know, he was huge. It's like, what are you talking about?
His neck muscle was bigger than like my entire any muscle in my body.
Yeah, seriously.
They did his voice a little wrong, though. Hard to make out at times. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, I love the way they did his voice, though. It was so unique.
Yeah, I mean, it's already like been parodied. I know I was watching like some comedy, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna be talking like this."
Yeah. I feel like Dave Bautista could have also played that role too.
Oh yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
What do you guys think about him as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Love him.
It's funny.
Love him as Drax.
Yeah.
He's great. I like him as in terms of wrestlers who have transitioned to acting. He's one of the best.
Yeah. No.
Did you guys see him in Knock at the Cabin? I know a lot of people didn't like that movie, but he was great in that film.
He was good.
I like the movie, and I really was very impressed by his performance in there. So he definitely got talent as far as acting goes.
Now, so I didn't get a chance to catch it, but is the every M. Night Shyamalan movie has that twist? How's the twist without revealing any spoilers? Like in terms of like, oh, were you kind of shocked? Did you see it coming?
So I was looking for a twist. I can't. If I tell you, then that's going to spoil things as to whether because that's kind of his thing. I sort of hinted at that whole thing with M. Night Shyamalan when I did my review. That was like my opening sort of hook. But then I didn't let you know whether there was.
I love him as Drax too. Like I'm one of the rare people. I'm almost like Mike, where like I was like the Guardians. Like, what is everyone talking about with this? And I was like, and then I watched the Christmas special, which is the weirdest thing probably to hear. And then like I watched the Christmas special, and I was like, I love the chemistry between these two. And like Drax did such a phenomenal job. And oh gosh, I feel awful because I am. Let me get her name. The woman who plays Mantis.
Mantis. Oh, yeah, I can't remember her name.
Palm Clementine. Oh my God! Like this woman does not get nearly the credit she deserves. Like,
100%.
and they were phenomenal. So then I went back and watched the series, and I was like, oh my God, this is such a good trilogy. So really glad that I did that. But that's what I think when you talk about Marvel, like doing spin-offs and all these things, like giving us these little specials, I think is really cool because then you can really get that character development in some of these moments with some of these like minor characters per se. Because when I think about superheroes, I'm like every superhero could have their own movie, but obviously they don't have the budget for it. So I would love if they use these specials to like really like develop some of the characters that we don't get so much of.
Yeah, and hopefully like they start introducing the X-Men like little by little, like they did the Avengers basically.
Yeah.
Because Apocalypse is one of my absolute favorite villains, and I feel like they completely did him wrong in that last movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Those X-Men movies are gonna come out in like 10 or 15 years. Like,
Anne was the best movie Catwoman. Yep. And then we
great actress.
Ruffalo. Fighting words. Ruffalo.
Get out of here, Lawrence.
I think it's hilarious that nobody wanted to work with Edward Norton because he's such a problem guy. Then they go ahead and hire Ezra Miller to keep being the Flash.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Ezra Miller is definitely, let's call it problematic.
Yeah, probably was going to say. Definitely problematic.
At best, problematic.
Oh, we got, let's see. Wonder Woman is great. Can someone explain what the heck happened with 1984?
I liked 1984.
I liked
Everybody
80,
hated that
I liked
film.
84 as well. I didn't hate it like a lot. I was actually very surprised to see how bad the reviews were when I got home from watching it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very entertaining kind of kids movie whose message is watch out what you dream of. But people were expecting something a little more serious, I guess.
That totally happens with these movies too, where everyone has their everyone makes their own version of what they expect to see. Then when it doesn't happen, then they're like, "Oh, this was terrible," rather than going into it sort of. That's why I think too some of these trailers. I feel like the trailers you don't need to put so much into it because then people start going crazy with the theories and everything. Like it, and we just got just give us
Definitely.
the ambiance or the setting or the world, and then make us just like Wonder Woman. It's like Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman. You don't need to give us some sort of big plot reveal, it's like we're gonna show up for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. The last couple Christopher Nolan movies, I have no idea what they were going to be about from the trailer. Like Tenet, I was like, okay, I have no idea what this movie is about. I walk in and I'm like, oh, this is like a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And again with Oppenheimer, I mean, I know the basic story. He made the first nuke, but where's he gonna go with the story?
Right.
Yeah. We got a Gal Gadot fan.
Absolutely.
She's great.
Yeah.
And Spider-Verse might be my fave.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, he's got Batman Begins as a close second.
Good movie. I love Batman. I actually I like all three of those movies personally. I saw all of them I think 3 times on the big screen.
Wow.
Which was your favorite?
Dark Knight was my favorite, and then Batman Begins. Sorry, Mike. And then I mean, I didn't hate Dark Knight Rises, but there's some stuff about it that got on my nerves, like when Batman and Catwoman decide they have to lip lock when they only have moments to spare with this bomb. It's like, get your butt out of there, go.
Yeah.
Little things like that. But I did enjoy it. It's not an awful film.
What'd you guys think about Rachel getting swapped out? Katie Holmes versus
Was
Maggie
not happy.
Gyllenhaal?
Was not happy with that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I thought she was better. I thought Katie Holmes actually did a better job
I was
than
like,
that was not fair. Yeah.
I
I didn't like that.
I didn't like it at all. I don't think she was a good choice. She was the worst part about that movie for me. So.
Agreed.
I actually saw Katie Holmes walking down the street once. I guess she lives in my neighborhood, and I'm walking down, and I'm like, that girl looks really familiar. Walking with I guess her daughter Suri, and then I guess the nanny, and then I turn around, and I'm like, huh. That was Katie Holmes.
And you're in New York, so you're like,
I mean, you see celebrities up here all the time.
I can imagine.
I think I mentioned on Mike's stream the day I tore my ACL, I saw Jennifer Lawrence. We just crossed eyes, and she knew that I knew, and I knew that she knew that I knew.
yeah.
Right, just keep going.
I'm jealous.
Well, she'd probably be rude to you if you approached her. Have you seen her talking about how she is if fans want to approach her? Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's not cool. That's not
I
cool.
ran into Jennifer Lawrence when she was shooting American Hustle in Boston, and she was definitely in her rude era. I think it seems like she's changed a little bit. I don't know.
You think?
But
I hope.
but yeah, I hope so. But yeah, she was not approachable. I did not say anything. I didn't go, she just had that look of don't fuck with me, or excuse me, don't screw me.
All good.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the F-bomb, we got one Ezra Miller. We got cancel Ezra.
Yeah.
I'm jealous of you guys. Sorry, Ryan.
I was gonna say, I think regardless of the situation, I still think that movie's gonna do really good, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And all right, so let's move on to phase 2. What did you guys think? What's your favorite films? Any favorite moments?
Gosh,
Tyrone, what movies were in phase 2?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I gotcha. That's why I'm here. That's why you guys hired me.
That's why Tyrone's here.
Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Age of Ultron, and then Ant-Man. And the answer is Guardians of the Galaxy, for me at least. So
Ditto.
It's got started off to a rocky start, didn't it? Because
Yeah.
I remember not being as impressed with Phase 2
yeah,
as Phase
same.
1. I was really excited about Phase 1 because I felt like they really took their time. And it just felt like, oh my gosh, it's going to be forever till we get to an Avengers movie. I got to wait a whole year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever. It was just, and then Phase 2 comes and it's like, I'm not as impressed.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
felt Iron Man 3, they really did the Mandarin wrong because, like, that's like Batman to his Joker. Like in the comics, the Mandarin was the absolute baddie for Iron Man, and just I was so disappointed with what they did with it.
I didn't know anything. I just knew the name. So when
Yeah.
the big reveal came, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
Me too.
I think they're actually trying to fix it because I believe in Shang-Chi, I actually didn't finish Shang-Chi. I was like, this is so bad.
Did you see the little thing they put up on YouTube? The little short movie with Ben Kingsley in jail?
Yeah, it was
You
in
saw
the
that?
name of the
Okay.
king or something like that.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think they're trying to rectify the situation and like put out the real Mandarin, but like Tony Stark's dead, so what are they gonna do now?
Right.
I don't know, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Marvel's definitely had some questionable decisions, that's for sure.
Or especially the last few years.
Yeah.
I mean, great Tilda Swinton, great actress, but that casting was bizarre.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
Ancient One.
Yeah. I could tell she just I don't even know anything about the character. I was like, why is she here? She doesn't fit.
No,
And I didn't know anything about her. I enjoyed the
that-
movie, but it was like, wait,
Same, yeah.
that doesn't
Still
feel
good
right.
Swinton. She doesn't fit anywhere. That's her
Yeah.
gist.
Yeah, I think it was race swapping like the wrong way.
And gender swapping, right?
Yeah,
Race
yeah.
and gender. They did both of
Yeah.
them. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it was
strange.
just like, what are we doing here? Yeah.
And when they do this sort of thing, it just makes you wonder, like you have source material, like this isn't like not rocket science. What are we doing here? Like, and I think it can get fun and creative sometimes when they make those changes and get a little bit bold. But like, it's just like what you said. It's like let the Joker be the Joker. Don't overcomplicate it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
That's how I feel.
it pisses a lot of fans off, and then they get called toxic because they're annoyed that a character that they grew up with has been radically changed just because
Yeah.
of the times. It's
Right.
annoying. I
Yeah.
don't like it either.
Yeah. And when you talk about superheroes, well, not to get too off track, but like superheroes, like there's plenty of room to have diverse characters and women and
100%.
female, and like it's just about the sources that you're pulling and how you're utilizing those. Like one of my biggest frustrations in superheroes when I hear people say Superman is not an interesting character, and I'm just like, they haven't written in the films perhaps that way, but like he is a very interesting character. I would die on that hill that Smallville.
I
is
used to
Superman,
be
yeah.
one of those. Sorry, I used to
That's
be
all right.
one of those. I mean,
No, that's all right. That's all right.
he was born because he was pretty much indestructible, and he just seemed so just. Then Henry Cavill comes along, and it wasn't just him, but I just like how Zack Snyder had his character. He brought much more depth to the character than
Yeah.
I had ever really connected with before in all the other movies.
Yeah.
Was it Amy Adams that played Lois Lane?
Yes, and
Yeah,
she has the
that-
wrong hair color.
yeah.
Lana Lang is a redhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for like characters like when you're examining race in movies, I think they do certain characters wrong, right? So like my couple examples, for sure Finn from the latest batch of Star Wars movies. I'm like, oh great, I want to find out way more, and then they did jack all with him, which was like really frustrating.
The
And
Disney
then,
thing.
Oh, gosh, Disney.
The other one was I mean, in the comics, I absolutely love Bishop, and it's just like like the movie was good, Days of Future Past, but like, yeah, I really could have like developed him more, especially like I don't know if you guys watched the X-Men animated series, like
Yeah.
way back when. Like
Yeah, in the
they
90s,
did him
yeah.
Best
great.
theme song ever.
Oh yeah, like this one.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys know, but they're actually bringing it back.
Mhm.
Yes. Are they going to have the same theme song? That's what I
I
want to know.
I've heard that is the answer is
Oh,
yes.
nice.
Yeah, I mean that series was absolutely fantastic. I think there was like right when Marvel itself before Disney was having a lot of trouble, and they almost went bankrupt in the '90s, and they started selling off the film rights. That's why we got like Incredible Hulk on Paramount, and then Spider-Man over at Sony. Yeah, it was just like pretty wildly mismanaged.
Yeah.
And then I think Kevin Feige did a really good job with the first three phases. Obviously, we've got our favorites. And Phase 3. Like, what do you guys think is your favorite movie other than Endgame and Infinity War? Because that's like its own category, I feel.
Hey, maybe when we answer this, what's like a sleeper? Because everyone's gonna say, uh, Endgame and Black Panther and like those like. So, is there anyone that like you sort of went into that was like, I didn't expect to like this?
Ragnarok was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 Got that stench out of your mouth.
I'll tell you what's a
Battle
sleeper in Phase 3 if it is in Phase 3. Captain Marvel. I do not like that movie.
I
Same.
knew
They
nobody
approached
was
it
gonna
wrong.
mention Captain Marvel.
So you didn't like that one? I think I'm one of those few people that actually enjoyed that one.
I like it because of Fury, and I feel like he was awesome in that. But
Yep.
I just feel like I feel like they did Captain Marvel dirty, kind of like what you were talking about Sin earlier, where you thought Wonder Woman wasn't gonna be this like anti-male sort of thing, and I feel like it felt there are moments in Captain Marvel that like they did that in some instances,
Oh,
and
they definitely did that.
sure, yeah,
Have
and I
you
just
heard
felt,
about the cut scene
oh
where
god,
she basically beat up the biker because he asked her to smile? Oh God.
yeah, and it's just like I feel like they did Brie Larson just dirty in that. I just felt like that character has so much depth, and I'm hoping that the Marvels does become that because I am a fan of Miss Marvel personally. Probably hot take, but so I'm hoping that turns out good.
Yeah, I haven't seen her show on Disney Plus. I heard they were trying to market it basically to like tweens.
Yeah,
What it
Yeah.
feels like.
certainly.
Yeah, kind of.
It's what the
I
movie
felt
feels like.
To me, it felt like Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man movie, a little bit. How it's kind of skewed a bit younger. But it definitely goes even younger than that, in my opinion, too. So
Is it like from a maturity standpoint or like?
yeah, she's a
it's
super fan of the Avengers, and the actress that they picked is actually like a really big Marvel super fan too. So it was sort of like the fan self-insert character a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny because I mentioned to Mike that when I was in London, I was walking through Richmond Park, and they were doing reshoots for the Marvels. I don't know if you guys know, but I spoke to a couple of the production assistants, and I was like, hey, so like they wouldn't tell me which movie it was. It's like, oh no,
Sure.
it's something coming out in November. I'm like, and then so I had a good think, and I'm like. So what's the deal? Because I heard you guys are having problems or whatever, and they both told me that the movie was awful. So
Interesting.
so if the producer, the assistant producer, the staff
Yeah.
thinks it's bad, ooh.
Not good. Yeah, I heard there was a lot of reshoots and things just going on with this Phase 4 and Phase 5, and I don't know if that was like a COVID issue or writer strike issue. Like it's been ugly.
Oh, and so what do you guys think about the writer's strike?
I'd say I
Well-
imagine that a lot of things have probably changed over the years. Like we say that a lot of the stuff has changed with the Marvel movies. Maybe a lot of the writers that used to be around aren't around anymore. So you're getting a lot of because one thing I've noticed with movies now, and I don't know if it's things have changed in the industry, I notice a lot of new movies that come out, not just Marvel movies. A lot of them are like first-time directors,
Yeah.
first-time writers. I mean,
Oh
it's
my
like
god.
a lot of times I see that, and I don't know if like just the good like writers and stuff have just gone away, or like more people are getting more opportunities. I mean, I think it may be a little bit of both. I'm thinking, but it's just something that I noticed, and maybe that's why a lot of movies nowadays and Marvel movies have really changed because of that. I mean, that's just my thinking.
Yeah. Well, it's no secret, right, that like some of these movies they have like a pure director who like goes in like Coogler, right? Like he's clearly has his hands and can do what he wants. Gunn can do whatever he wants, right? The brothers, Russo brothers, but some of them feel like almost like Marvel's little like plants where they're like, we're just putting you here to tell the story that we want, and that way you can have like a pay cut. Because some, like you mentioned, Ryan, like some of these directors, like there, I think the person who did, what was the recent one that just came out, Ant-Man 3?
Mm-hmm.
I think that person had only did like a rom-com or something, and I'm just like, how do you even hire this person? Like,
Well, even in Shazam, when Shazam came out, that director had never done. I'm like his genre. I look at his movies. I'm like, why is he doing this? It just looks so out of his element. I guess maybe he wanted to do something different. But I remember seeing online that he said he'll never do another superhero movie again with all because the toxic fans and how much people hated Shazam. So
I mean,
don't know.
the fans, maybe there's some toxic fans, but like, somebody mentioned earlier, if they do the character wrong, then, obviously people are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of the Infinity War Endgame double feature?
I loved it. I liked it. I'm more of a fan of Endgame for a couple of reasons. I like the whole time travel thing, and Infinity War felt like it hit the ground running and it just never stopped. There wasn't much downtime, and so that got a little I get fatigued with stuff like that, as I mentioned in like the John Wick 4, when it just goes so much into the action that gets boring to me. So that was kind of what I felt about Infinity War. To me, it was at its best when there wasn't all the fighting going on. But I mean, I like it. I don't hate it. I prefer Endgame.
When I watched Infinity War, I remember I was shocked. I didn't think they were gonna kill half the characters. I hadn't thought they were gonna bring them back, obviously. But I remember I mentioned to my mother, they killed half the characters. And she asked, did they kill Iron Man? No. Did they kill Thor? No. Captain America? No. The Hulk? No. And I noticed, they didn't kill a single Avenger.
Yeah.
Right.
Going back to that comment I said about watching with the kids, like we all know we were adults, so we're like, yeah, they're gonna bring everyone back. But some of those like kids were in there bawling, like Spider-Man, no!
Oh no!
and you don't want to spoil it for them either. So, but you're just like in there, like they were in tears, like legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to admit, I definitely choked up when Peter was dying. He's like, I don't feel so good. It's like,
yeah.
Right.
100% same.
I was gonna say for Endgame, at the time I was working a second job at a theater, and I had just like signed up to do it about a month before Endgame came out, and I'll never forget how crazy that opening night was. Like we had showings until like 4 a.m. It was like a really long movie and stuff. But I just remember like the lines out the concessions or out the door, and it was like that throughout the night. The theaters are messy. There's popcorn everywhere. I mean, I don't know I honestly, truly don't know if there's any movie in the future that will ever have that kind of crowd. I mean, yeah, there's still big crowds, but I just don't know if there's any movie that has that hype like Endgame did. I felt like that one had like amazing hype like everywhere.
Oh, I got one for you.
sure.
Fast 11. I mean,
You're joking.
Honestly, it's like open brain, stuff potato chips into it. I love those movies.
I know. Yeah. No, but I think DC versus Marvel. I feel Gunn is like a double agent. He's probably still working with Feige secretly behind closed doors, and then we're gonna get a big DC versus Marvel experience at some point.
Wouldn't that be? That would be funny.
Yeah.
They've crossed over a few times. I want to say like
I thought it was.
I quit reading comic books like back in like '98, but they did like an amalgam series where like they did a cross where it was Superboy and Spider-Man in one character. Which
Yeah.
was like
They
really
did
weird.
Batman versus Punisher as well
Oh
too.
yeah. You're right.
I have the
And they-
Batman versus Punisher comic.
Oh,
Nice, yeah.
Cool.
Now, did you guys all grow up reading comics or?
No,
I
Nope.
did.
So,
Me.
Never.
I
I
did.
did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What were your favorites?
Is that a question for him or me?
No, for you, yeah. Or for
Oh,
anybody.
So I didn't have a TV, so comics were a huge form of entertainment for me. My favorites were the X-Men and Wonder Woman, Batman, Spider-Man. I wasn't really into the Avengers too much.
Yeah.
Justice League, I love the Justice League, especially some of the side characters. I really liked Vixen, and then there was also this guy, I can't remember his name. He was a Latino, and he could do these like some sort of electrical powers he had, and he would always walk around with a beatbox. Those big cute things on it.
yeah.
But yeah, those were some of my favorites.
Yeah, do you still have them?
I let my brothers play with them, and they tore them all to pieces.
Oh.
They would
Oh,
cut them
no,
out.
damn.
They cut out the pieces, and they would use them to play with. And I'm like, I am so So I went back and I repurchased some of the older one, like some of the ones that I remembered. Like some Spider Woman comics that I had. I repurchased some of those, but I don't remember all the issues I had, and they're just lost to my brother's grubby fingers.
Yeah,
That was my mistake. I shouldn't have done it. They regret it.
Hey, give your brother credit. That's really creative. You don't have TV. You just stick figure like
That's what they would do.
Yeah, little action figures.
Right.
Ooh, we got a hot take from Jason. I thought the whole Thor making a weapon with a star was so boring in Infinity War. Really showed the movie down, slowed the movie down. Wow, that's a hot take. Thoughts?
I was fine with it because it was downtime. A little bit of downtime.
It was a fine excuse to introduce a dwarf who dwarfed everybody.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually thought like it was really well done.
Right.
It was really cool. Like, oh, you're using the power of a star to make Thor a new weapon. It's pretty funny. And then in Endgame, where Captain America gets Mjolnir, and they have that funny exchange where it's like, no, you take the little one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they recently say that like in Infinity War there was like an hour and a half like cut or something?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
So yeah, let me look it up. I think it's because we don't see Thanos get one of the stones. And they had like this whole sort of like drawn out thing with Thanos. No one heard about that?
Oh.
No, can't say I have.
There's like an extra 45 minutes where it says he was like torturing Thor and the Asgardians to get let's see, what stone is it? The Power Stone. So they had like 45 minutes, but then the studio was like, yeah, you can't make a movie that's like 4 hours.
And Marvel still hasn't made money out of those 45 minutes. I find it hard to believe.
Hey, don't speak too
And
soon.
then Justice League Snyder Cut came out, and I was like, nope, we can do 4 hours.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. If it's good enough, I would
Release
sit
the
through
Russo
it.
cut.
Yeah.
They just need
Snyder Cut?
intermissions, is what they need to do.
Oh,
for really long
definitely.
movies like that.
I'm all for bringing back intermissions.
Oh yeah. They're
Yeah,
great.
they had I mean, a lot of these movies they're sort of turning into like almost TV shows. They're so long. Where it's like, yeah, maybe you could get like a season out of this, but then the shows that they have on Disney Plus, it's like, yeah, there's not enough material to even do one movie, but let's try to space it out for a series. What's everybody's favorite Disney Plus series as far as like Marvel is concerned?
The MCU stuff. Oh.
I only
Loki.
watched WandaVision, and that was enough.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a mystery, a puzzling type of show. Then they explain everything away in episode 3 or 4, and I thought, how naive was I to think Marvel was gonna give us something to think about?
He's got a new show, Elizabeth Olsen, called Love and Death, and a lot of
Yes.
people I've heard have said that it has that sort of mystery that you were craving from WandaVision. So maybe check that out.
Is
Love
that Marvel or is that?
No. It's based
No.
on a true story.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because I
It's a
like
crime
Elizabeth
drama.
Olsen. I think she's a good actress.
What are
Yeah.
the different shows? Because I refresh our memory as to the different Marvel shows, because I have
Sure.
not seen all of them.
Well, they
because
did
I could never finish
Loki,
Loki. I could never
Captain
finish that
America,
one.
the Winter Soldier TV show, that Falcon Winter Soldier,
Oh, yeah.
She-Hulk, Miss
Oh.
Marvel,
Yeah.
Moon
Okay.
Knight,
Mhm.
and then
That's only-
they did the What If counts, the What If
Okay.
series, that kind of
Yep.
counts, right?
Yep.
I've only seen 2 all the way through. One was Moon Knight, which I enjoyed, and
Yeah.
WandaVision, which I liked up until the last episode. I didn't
Mm.
like the final showdown. I could
Dragon
not
Ball
finish
fight.
Loki. I just could not. And I was
Mm.
and I watched The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I did not like it.
Hawkeye.
I
Hawkeye,
watched
yeah, that was
Hawkeye.
the
I
other
forgot
one,
about
yep.
Hawkeye. Yeah, I watched
Oh,
that.
there
I
was
didn't
a
like it
Hawkeye show.
either. Yeah, there was. I didn't like it. It was more about the girl, and she was annoying, and I just and the way they did Kingpin was ridiculous. I just
It was ridiculous.
so come on. I mean, they pansified him down. He was not even scary like he was in the Daredevil show.
I
They
know.
just
I
made him
fancy
like
the
this-
Netflix one's better.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm opposite of you though, Sin. Like low key, like I love just like getting to see a different perspective. Like I loved how like the Infinity Stones really meant nothing in this sort of like pocket dimension. I like seeing variants. I totally can get why like someone would be like, all right, like it feels like they're playing so heavily into some of those things that I'm mentioning and like the sci-fi aspect, but like that's what I love. I'm a big time nerd and space nerd, so they were like, Tyrone, this is for you.
We got another.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah,
I just couldn't. The female Loki was just a huge turnoff. I did not like her at all.
Oh,
It was
God,
just she
yeah,
was terrible,
yeah.
and so that's the main
Yeah.
reason I quit. I'm just like I can't
Yeah.
suffer through more of this, so I
Yeah.
stopped.
Yeah, whenever they do like this weird little romances, like you said, like it's like Batman with Catwoman. You're like, okay, like do we have time for a kiss? Like what's going on? You know,
Make it make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's so you mentioned time, and obviously that was a big plot point in Endgame. What do you guys think about the Gamora thing? Because I'm still confused as to like how she's still alive.
Well, I'm going to touch into spoilers a little bit here for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I think everybody's
But
seen it.
before I do though, have any of you guys not seen the movie?
I've seen it. I'm good.
Oh,
you
no
haven't
one's
seen
not
it?
seen it?
I'm the only one that hasn't, but it's all good, brother. Like I said, like
Well,
I'm to that
because-
point with Marvel now that I'm okay with spoilers.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guardians Volume 3 was good to me personally.
Oh yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. But
thought
yeah,
it was
Mike,
the
like
best
you
Guardians.
like, it's because they undid stuff. They undid things that happened. So then that point in time that they went back to, that's before Gamora was with the Guardians, before she knew all of them,
Yeah.
because they changed stuff.
Mm.
Right. So then
I don't remember this
So then when that Thanos from that universe comes back, Gamora's like still with him.
Oh, okay.
She was she
I
with
think.
him? Yeah, I can't. It's been so long since I've seen him. But
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think she comes back and then, like, it's like a different version of her that she doesn't know them, and then.
Right.
Like, because I remember she was like being like a very like killer towards the Guardians, and they were like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
Just
it's
explained it to them.
pre-Guardians Gamora is what it is.
Yeah.
She just wasn't at that. What didn't she? Oh gosh, y'all, it's been so long since I saw it. But didn't she like turned against her father in Endgame too? Right.
Yeah.
But she was also on that path in the first Guardians.
And wasn't there, maybe I imagine this, but wasn't there something weird where it was like because she was in this universe that she wasn't supposed to be, she was like sort of like having these like images in her head or something? Or did I make that up?
I don't
know.
remember that.
I really don't know. It's been so
I
long.
think that's from another film.
Yeah, I don't remember
Oh,
that.
Yeah, I think that was just Nebula because they were able to see through her. That's how Thanos found out that they were using and that they were trying to go back in time, is because he was seeing through Nebula's like chip or her implants and stuff.
Right.
Right.
Man, what do you guys think about Jason's question? Secret Invasion is coming out next month, so that will be the next big thing. What do you guys think about what they did to Nick Fury? Like, where do you think it's gonna go forward from here?
I'm intrigued. I was intrigued by the trailer.
Yeah, I like Fury, and Samuel Jackson is a legend. So
Yeah, I like the storyline. I think I didn't read too much of it from the comics, but they come in and take over, and they're shapeshifters. So it was a much bigger thing in the comics, like similar to like an end game level event, because you didn't know like who's the real Iron Man, who's the real Spider Man. So it'd be really interesting to see how close to the comics they go, but. To me, I don't think that Disney really cares about the comics anymore. They're doing their own thing.
Right.
it's also kind of weird because I feel like maybe this is just bias, but I feel like people who aren't paying that close attention, or you're like picking some movies and shows to watch, or just like you're not a comic book fan, I feel like this is going to be super random, but it's a very big event, like you mentioned, So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, and I think they only do like 6 episodes, which is like, is that enough time? Yeah.
Yeah,
How long?
That's
are the
one thing I
episodes?
miss. I miss TV shows that were like, like back in my day, TV shows were like 18 to 20 episodes, and it's like now it's like, we got 6 and 8. I'm like, what? Like, what
But
are you
they
talking
feel
about?
better written. Those feel better written than a lot of the ones from way back when they had a bunch of filler.
Sure.
It felt like they were doing a lot of filler, and they were just.
Sure.
So I feel like the quality might be a little better.
It was
some
the
of them
first
now?
writer's strike, wasn't it, that reduced the number of episodes of every series?
Was it? Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
I remember Lost went from 22 to 15 or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that season really suffered of Lost. Lost, I know it's a hot take. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, including the last season. I thought it was like just such a phenomenal show. But the writer's strike definitely harmed the 3rd season. I'm curious to see like what happens with this one.
Yeah.
Because the Blade production had to stop. And then a bunch of other shows are on hold. I think Daredevil Born Again is on hold.
Yeah, because I heard they were bringing back Punisher for that too. John Bernthal, I heard, was coming back.
Yep.
And I mean, John Bernthal did like a phenomenal job with the character. I don't know if anybody disagrees, but
Haven't seen
To be
it
honest,
yet.
I don't think they've missed on Punisher. Like, I enjoy Dolph Lundgren's, I enjoy Thomas Jane, I enjoy Ray Stevenson and John Bernthal. Like, to be honest, I think Punisher's like kind of like one of those sleeper ones that nobody knows, but I think all the films are actually pretty solid, and even the TV show.
yeah, I mean, I really like the character, his backstory. His family gets killed by the mafia, and he goes on a rampage. I absolutely love that. I don't know how I feel about John Travolta in the Thomas Jane movie, but I definitely enjoy that. I saw that in the theater. I was a lot younger, so I did a little movie hop. I went to see Kill Bill Volume 2 and then The Punisher. So it was very revenge focused day.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sin, to answer your question though, Secret Invasion, they're gonna be 40 to 50 minutes, and there's gonna be 6 episodes.
Okay, so pretty lengthy.
Yeah, and I also agree with you too that like I do think the quality of television has increased, but I really just think that, I mean, 6 episodes, I feel like 8 that 8 range probably would be right. But then it's like you said, like if it's fillery, then there's no point to it.
Yeah.
And I think with traditional television as well, they would have those moments for like holiday specials, and the network is like everyone's drinking soda pop, like we got to find a way to throw soda pop into the show, like that sort of corporate like injection. I think we've gotten a lot of that removed, which I think is really nice. So
Yeah, the product placement got to be a little too annoying, especially. Well, it's actually pretty funny. On Apple TV, they definitely obviously throw a lot of iPhones or MacBooks or whatever. But I thought it was really funny. There was it was like an alien invasion show on Apple TV, and
yeah, I remember that one.
I forget the title.
It was called
No,
Invasion.
it's called Invasion. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, but it was funny because they
Yeah.
showed a Tesla. Like the family was driving a Tesla. It's like, oh crap! Like it ran out of juice. I guess we need to go charge it. and they get to a gas station and they just like abandon the Tesla and steal somebody's like gas powered car.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I guess Tim, what is it? Tim Cook is the CEO of
Yeah.
Apple. I think that was a little dig at Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. And what are you guys most excited about in terms of like any upcoming projects, Marvel or DC? Actually, we can shift gears towards DC if you guys want.
I see the Flash coming up looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be seeing that. I'm looking forward to Kraven the Hunter, just because I don't know too much about him, and I like the casting choice.
Did you guys see Morbius?
Yeah, I was
Got that
disappointed
steelbook.
with Morbius. It wasn't
the
worst
movies
movie
ever
ever
made.
for me, but I was disappointed in it.
Oh, we
I
lost.
like the memes.
Oh, you went offline.
Ah, too bad. Yeah. And what do you guys think? The
Oh, he had to run. Wait, Tyrone
Yeah.
has to run.
No, yeah, I gotta run, but I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me on. Definitely want to come back, and a pleasure hanging out with all of you.
Same.
Good seeing you, man.
James Gunn's DC, I'm very bullish on it. I'm very excited about it now after seeing Guardians. And I think he said he wants to make it a little less dark, a little bit more light, a little bit more fun. Yes, and I saw your face. I don't know how I feel about that. Because like what we love about DC is how gritty and tough it is. So
Exactly.
hopefully we don't get all Marvel sort of, we gotta have a joke every 30 seconds thing in there. But yeah, thanks for inviting me. Great time.
Where can people find you?
YouTube, TikTok, wherever the kids are these days. The Circle Club. I'm always doing all types of content. I'll do like Euphoria. I'll do Succession. I'll do, these think pieces. Anything. Just having a good time. So I hope to be back with you all. And thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. And everybody check out Tyrone's channel. The link is down below. Please do go and subscribe. Every little subscriber counts. So definitely let's try to grow this community together.
Appreciate it. All right. Thanks. Peace out,
Bye.
guys.
Later.
Yeah, it's Tyrone.
Bye, Tyrone.
We got one question from Jason. Is it too late for the X-Men or Fantastic Four to come in and save Marvel?
I think so. I think Marvel's.
I don't think so.
right
I'm
now.
hoping they can nail Fantastic Four with this next outing because they've kind of let me down. That's one of my favorite superhero kind of families, the Fantastic Four, and they've kind of dropped the ball every time that they've tried to put them out.
Yeah, that last one was really awful.
Yeah,
I've
it was
still not seen it.
You don't need to, believe me.
I
I thought the actors were great, but there was so much trouble with the story and then production behind the scenes. Like Miles Teller apparently got in like supposedly a physical altercation with the director apparently. So there was like a lot of drama behind the scenes too. So it just
Dang.
really hurt the film.
Yeah, I really like Miles Teller. I think he's like a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, I agree.
He is good.
I agree.
What do you guys think about the casting for Mr. Fantastic?
John Krasinski?
No,
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver, right?
Oh, I like
Yeah.
Adam Driver.
Wait, hold on. So
He's
I'm
apparently
behind
he's
the
been
times.
cast. Yeah, I like him okay, but I do not like him in this role at all.
Yeah, apparently Adam Driver is going to be the confirmed casting for Reed
Yeah.
in the next film, which I don't mind it just because I think he's such a great actor that he can do it.
Yeah.
Like, he's my favorite part of the sequel trilogy for Star Wars. Kylo Ren saved that for me. If it wasn't for Kylo Ren, the sequel trilogy would be like complete trash.
Wow, yeah. I mean, he's a great actor. I really liked John Krasinski and possibly Emily Blunt.
That would have been so cool. I agree.
Yeah,
I
because
would
their
have loved
husband and wife.
that.
Yeah, that would have been
Would
cool.
have loved that because they're so cute together anyway.
Yeah.
Did they confirm Sue Storm yet, Sin? Did they confirm
I-
Sue yet?
Have not heard that. I just
No,
just
okay.
the part about Adam Driver.
Oh, is anybody else cast?
I
I
haven't.
don't
heard.
think so.
I've only heard of Adam.
Wow, that's it's a questionable casting, but like you know, maybe Adam Driver makes it his own character, just like Heath Ledger did to the Joker. Yeah, definitely something to watch. Hopefully, Marvel gets back to its phase one, magic.
Oh, it's a big hope you're asking for.
I know. Well, I'm a glass half full kind
I'm
of
so
guy.
cynical. I'm so cynical. I'm just like, yeah, it's not coming back. It's not coming back. There'll be some movies I'll like, but it's gone. The Marvel that we loved so much, I think it's gone. Thanks to Disney in large part.
More.
Really?
Yeah, I've been trying to hold this in, but I'm not going to go on a tangent. But I agree with you, Sin. I think I just think how we've talked before about like phase one, like what made that so great is they introduced a couple of characters, brought them all together for the Avengers, and it was like a magical moment. And then all the way up to Endgame, we started slowly getting these new heroes, like in their own individual movies, but it wasn't long before we saw them again. Whereas at this moment in time in Marvel, they're just throwing any hero out there in TV,
Yep.
in movies, and like for example, Shang-Chi, or even like WandaVision. They're making like an Agatha series on movie. She's not been seen in like 2.5 years.
Who
Like, what's she
cares
been up
about
to in
Agatha?
2.5
I
years?
It's quantity over quality for them at this
Yeah.
point, and it shows.
And I feel like they've lost it because, like, as we all know, the Avengers was like Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, etc. Like at the minute, who's the Avengers? Like, and who's leading all these heroes to come together for when they make the next Avengers movie? Like at the minute, no one.
Right.
Well,
So I
it's
feel
supposed
like
to be
it's just-
Captain Marvel, but she's not a fan
Yeah,
favorite.
I
So.
think they're
Right, well,
leaning more towards what is it?
I'm tuning
Falcon,
out.
Anthony Mackie's Falcon, and like,
Oh.
who knows how Captain America 4 is going to turn out.
Yeah, I mean, I
Nah,
really
I'm
like
out.
Anthony Mackie, actually. I wouldn't mind seeing him, like, actually take up the mantle and be the Captain America. I like the actor. B, I like the character. Just, I mean, yeah, let the director do his thing and not, like, have Marvel's overbearing control. Because that's where the quality starts degrading, I think.
I think that's the thing. Like, I'm pretty sure maybe all of us guys can agree who's seen Guardians because I know Norrin hasn't, so I'm not going to touch on the spoilers. But like, Guardians felt like the first movie where it's like it was its own thing. It didn't have to tie into a property that's going to happen like 10 years down the line. It was just its own movie and concluded that kind of trilogy.
Right.
Whereas every movie feels like, oh, it's got to tie into this project that's going to come in 2 years' time, or this one here. And it just doesn't make sense at the moment. I think that's the biggest issue Marvel has.
Yeah.
Well, it also felt free of messaging.
Right.
Because there's been a lot of
Right.
messaging. Like one of the things I really didn't like about Falcon, and I like Anthony Mackie. I prefer him as Falcon. I would have preferred
Same.
Bucky to take on the mantle of Captain America, but
Oh, yeah.
but Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I thought I was going to love that, and I was so disappointed with it. It got so heavy-handed with messaging and preachiness, and they did not have the chemistry that I thought that they should. And it was just there was so much wrong with it for me, and so I'm not looking for. I don't even know if I'll go see Captain America.
Sid, you need to do better.
Yeah, that scene, the one I'm talking about. And that wasn't the only one too. It's like,
Yeah,
oh
but
my god, this is so cringe.
You need to do better. Like, what does that even mean? Like,
It was just like this. It really felt like they were trying very hard to shoehorn in certain things and narratives and agenda, whatever. And it's just, when it's happening, and it's just like, this just feels. But I didn't get that feeling at all from like Guardians, and you can tell the difference. I just feel like the quality is better.
There's a time and a place and a way to do messaging.
Yeah.
I mentioned in my last video, WALL-E. I love WALL-E. It's a great kids movie. Can't deny that it was political.
I've never seen it, so I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah. It's
Really?
I love WALL-E. I love it so much.
Oh wow, I
It-
had
it's,
no
a,
clue.
it's a fantastic movie, but it's definitely political. It's not something like kids would catch, but like as an adult, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is the debate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it, and yeah, I mean that was when you're trying to shoehorn it in. It's just it's that's why I'm like I hope you know, that when they actually introduce the X-Men, that it goes back to that 60s feel of, hey, you know, like we need to work together, you know, have everybody, you know, not hate each other, you know, give everybody civil rights. And I don't know if they're gonna do it the right way.
Well, I just have pretty much zero faith in Marvel/Disney at this point. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe if they surprise me, if it turns out that they produce something that's great, I'll be the first to say it. But that hasn't been the pattern lately.
Yeah.
So
What do you
There
think? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there was a quote I saw online where somebody said, after Endgame, it's like beating a video game and then going back in that same video game and going on a bunch of side quests and trying to
Yeah.
find stuff to do.
that's an excellent point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep. You were getting ready to ask something?
We got Cinema-wise here. I'm not sure. Or no, Moviewise. Moviewise. Yeah, he's still here.
He's just correcting.
Yeah.
Hi, Extra Cheese Project.
What's that?
I'm just saying hi to him.
Yeah.
He comments a lot on my videos.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Very nice. Yeah. So, what do you guys think of James Gunn's you know, approach? What do you think? You know, is his take going to be like essentially what the first 3 phases of Marvel was, or yeah? What are your thoughts?
Are you talking about him with DC or with Marvel?
Yeah, with DC, with DC.
I'm not happy with him right now. I mean, I like a lot of stuff he's put out, but I'm not happy at all that he let Gal and Henry go. But he, you know, magically kept his wife and her stuff, Peacemaker, and she sticks around. So it's like, oh, okay. I don't like him doing that. So,
Yeah, I mean, Henry Cavill getting let go is
huge
very
mistake.
questionable. Yeah.
I think.
I mean, he's been like kind of mistreated lately because
The Witcher?
Which exactly? I was just gonna
Superman?
say. Yeah, yeah, and he's a fantastic actor. Is he coming back for the new Mission Impossible movie?
No, his character died.
Oh,
I
yeah, he
thought,
died,
and the other one, yeah. Took him forever too. My gosh, he was hanging around forever. I was like, we just die already because he was bad. You know, it's like
Yeah.
But Paul,
That was a good
Paul-
fight scene, though. He had one of the best fight scenes. That
Yeah.
bathroom fight scene was intense.
have you seen this? The part in that scene where he does his arms like that, and then all of a sudden he gets this magical mustache? I never noticed that before.
No.
I don't know what
Really?
happened in that scene, but
That's
that was
amazing.
when he. Yeah, it was like, go back and watch it. Yeah, he's like it was something with the editing. Maybe it was the lighting, but it looked like he just all of a sudden grew this mustache. It's kind of funny.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's because he was filming Mission
Yes.
Impossible, and then they brought him
Yeah.
back for reshoots, but he
Yes.
refused to cut the beard, and so they had this CGI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was obviously very bad
That's
CGI.
also when he had to do the when he had to film Justice League. With
Yeah, so like there's certain shots where like when he's doing the cell phone video, like in the beginning
Yeah, that
of
was-
Justice League. Yeah.
that was wrong looking on all levels.
Yeah, Steve just mentioned that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's been like not treated very well lately. It's kind of sad to see.
Yeah. Did you guys see him
Yeah.
in The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? He was.
That was good.
That was a good movie. It was a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah.
Mike, have you
Probably-
seen that?
No, I don't like Guy Ritchie. That's probably
I know
why.
you said.
Some very hot takes lately. Yeah, no Iron Man. No Guy Ritchie. Yeah.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, man, I've got a list from here to America if you want to go after.
Well, yeah. No, it was so I think we can wrap up. You know, it was really really awesome having you guys for my very first live stream.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. You know, and I had like a very special thank you to Mike, who is amazing at putting everybody together. He's definitely the uniter we all need. But yeah, if you guys want to plug your channel, you know, let's whoever wants to go first, last. You know, let everybody know like what you're working on for your next few reviews, or you know thinking, and then where we could catch you.
Well, Sin, do you want to go first?
Yeah, well, my channel's name is Sin's Corner. I do reactions and reviews, and I just put up a review for Doctor Sleep today. I saw the director's cut and the theatrical version. And last night I saw an advanced screening of a horror comedy called The Blackening that's coming out in June. So I did a review for that, and got a review coming up for an Indian language movie that was a remake of a Spanish language film called The Invisible Guest. So that's upcoming.
Very nice. Yeah, looking forward to that. And where can we catch you?
Sin's Corner.
Sin's Corner on
Sin's
YouTube.
Corner.
All right, everybody, I put the link in the description below. Please go check out Sin's channel. Definitely hit that subscribe button because we all grow together. How about Norrin?
Oh, for my channel, my main plan right now is doing the whole Batman video. I have like part of it shot, and then I have to shoot some other parts and then edit it. It's like about 20 minutes, a little bit over 20 minutes, because it's all my Batman stuff from me and my wife. So it's a huge collection because that's our favorite superhero. Wow. So it's just like a massive collection. So yeah, that's my main thing, and then probably some reviews. I got to catch up on some reviews. Like I watched Kids versus Aliens. I watched Renfield, so I finally got that in there, so I'll be able to talk about that too.
Where can we catch you?
Oh, so NorrinRadd 89. You got YouTube channel. You can catch me there doing my videos, but then I'm also on Twitter for my social media. That's where I mainly do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that you're having a big horror kick.
Yeah, yesterday I watched, was it Friday the 13th Part 5, because I just was like in a weird funk, was like kind of like feeling like a little bit depressed. So I was like, oh, I'm going to watch some Jason because it like cheers me up all the time.
Yeah, so everybody.
Jason cheers you up. That's funny.
Everybody, please go check out Norrin's page.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. How about Rodrigo, Moviewise? What are you working on? Where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me at Moviewise right here on YouTube, as is written here. I make mostly video essays about screenwriting and film directing. I like to analyze movie scenes, lines, films as a whole, direction, that kind of thing. A lot of dialogue as well. I sometimes make an occasional review. Don't tell anyone, it's mostly for the views. And in case you're wondering, I've never shown my face in the channel, so I'm saving for a face reveal someday. That's why I didn't turn on the camera.
Oh, very nice. Yeah,
cool.
I'm not the way
like that. But we are looking forward to it. So everybody, go check out Moviewise. I posted the link in the description below. It's got a lot of great reviews. I'm glad the YouTube algorithm showed it to me. So everybody, please go subscribe to Moviewise. How about Ryan? Yeah, absolutely. How about Ryan? What are you working on? Where can we find you?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, just RWR Movie Reviews. I have a ton of reviews coming out. I got Hypnotic I'm going to be dropping tonight. I got Fast X I'll be doing. I got Slasher Ripper Episode 8. I got The Covenant coming out. Beau is Afraid. I got a bunch of stuff that I've recorded. I just got to edit it all together. And I think Polite Society I watch. I got a ton of stuff.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
I dropped so much stuff.
So we got one comment. Plot twist, Moviewise is actually Val Kilmer.
If Val Kilmer played Moviewise, he would be better than me.
Awesome. And the big man, Mike, what are you working on coming up, and where can everybody find you?
Yeah, so you can find me YouTube. Did you see that? Instagram, TikTok, a bit like Ryan, just my YouTube name. Yeah, in terms of what I'm working on, like the last couple of days, I've been shooting like loads of early videos on my Patreon, but will come on YouTube. Like a room tour, because you guys kind of see this the camera, but you don't see like what's up here, like what's around and stuff. So yeah, room tour, Funko collections. I'm gonna be checking out a movie on Saturday called Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
Oh
yeah.
That, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by the movie. I don't know anything about it, so I'm intrigued.
I'm looking forward to your review.
Yeah, thanks, man. One thing I just want to quickly show you guys before we go. I was around my mum's house the other day, and I found this, and I think Norrin's gonna love this particularly. When you guys were talking about Dark Knight Rises, I remember I got the special edition Blu-ray set.
Oh,
Oh, dude.
nice. Wow.
That's fire,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
so
awesome. I just wanted to show you guys that because I knew you guys were talking about Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the bomb.
Yeah,
That's, that's a really cool.
that's my favorite Batman movie. My favorite superhero movie ever.
Batman Begins.
Yeah. So yeah, you can find me on YouTube, all that good stuff.
Nice, yeah. Thanks for having coming on to the channel, and I'm looking forward to doing these hopefully weekly. We just have to figure out timing for everybody because we had basically people from 3 continents on this live stream. Pretty
Right.
pretty awesome. The more we grow, the better.
Right.
So I'm off the cover. I just put out a second episode of Dark Age of Cinema, and I'm working on a couple more in that series. And I'm going to be checking out Fast 10 because I think it's my brain needs junk food. Needs to get satisfied. But thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Thanks for making this live stream so as good as it was. I hope to see you guys in the next one.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
All right, bye,
Yeah.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.